Let's welcome someone who knows the immigration system very well, attorney and author Jessica Dominguez, to discuss the possible implementation of these measures. Attorney Dominguez, thank you so much for joining us today. From your standpoint, what would be the most significant change?
Actually, thank you for inviting me. I was about to send an email to UEP asking, wait, when it's my turn. So thank you so much for having me. Discretion, definitely discretion. For the past 4 years, we had so many different cases where ICE officers wanted to use their discretion positively, but yet it was difficult to do so because of the different directives that they kept getting from the previous administration. I'll give you an example. I have a client who has cancer. He has a final order of deportation because he was defrauded, not because he committed any crimes, not because he did anything wrong. Someone lied to him and got him involved in proceedings. Once he had a final order of deportation, we had to file a stay. In other words, we were asking ICE to give us their approval for him to continue to live in the United States. And year after year, every time we had to go, we kept getting the same answer. You have to tell your client to get ready to go. Imagine such a humane case, but yet their hands were tied. Thankfully, they used their discretion positively, and this gentleman continues to be here. But this is how I see it. I see that ICE officers are going to be able to use the discretion in a positive way for many more cases than they were able to do within this past 4 years.
Abogada, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I did want to ask you, how about those immigrants who have been impacted negatively by the previous administration's policies?
Thank you, Wad. It's a pleasure for me to be talking to you as well. We are already seeing the changes. We're already experiencing the changes. I'll tell you, so many families who were trying to immigrate into the country legally were seeing the effect because their interviews were taking such a long time. Let's say for a citizenship application or an adjustment of status application. Now we're beginning to get those interviews, even though we're in the midst of a pandemic, but citizenship is no longer an afterthought. It is what it should be, what it has been for so many years, which is an amazing privilege for a person to take the step of seeking citizenship, but yet they would have to wait over 2-3 years to get an interview notice. Now we're seeing more of them getting that opportunity. We would also see changes in court. As a matter of fact, we are already seeing them. As I said, we're experiencing them. We're already seeing judges granting motions to continue so that the government counsel and defense counsel can get together and come up with a solution that allows that family not to be separated. So we are definitely already experiencing some of those positive changes.
Mom, long time no see. Abogada Jessica Dominguez, thank you for hopping on Outside the Box show. Real quick, this directive, I think, has many people confused, thinking that deportations are going to stop. We know that that's not going to happen. What instructions does this memo give ICE, and how does the undocumented community move forward knowing these new instructions?
Hijo, I am so happy to be here. And I just want to start by saying, it is really important, and I'm telling you this based on the calls that we're getting, based on the comments that we're reading on social media. It is very important for all our community to know this, and for all immigrant families to know this. Immigration laws continue to be the same, which means that if you have no legal status, the law says that ICE can detain you and they can seek to place you in deportation proceedings. That continues to be the same. These instructions, by the way, it's not an ICE directive yet. It's not, ICE has not announced it. This is just an article that has been shared with all of us about some emails that are being interchanged. And it's important to know that it's kind of taken us to the discretion that the Obama administration gave the ICE officials. Priorities such as people that have committed serious crimes, they will continue to be priorities. People that have been deported in the past and came back illegally, and ICE now detains them for a second time, they will continue to be priority. People that have committed serious crimes and finished their sentence, once ICE picks them up, they will continue to be in deportation proceedings. However, what we can gather from all the information that was given, because one of the things that's confusing people is that this article mentions, well, if you have a DUI, you don't have to worry. Let me tell you something. The best defense that you have against deportation is having a good moral character. So I don't want anyone to get confused and think, oh, well, because I have a misdemeanor, that's not going to affect me. Anything can affect you when you're trying to seek legal permanent residency in the country. For that reason, it is really important that people are not confused and that they know that if anything is going to change based on this information shared with us, is the discretion by the ICE officers. If they have a father who's been here over 30 years and he has a misdemeanor from many years ago, then instead of seeking to deport him immediately, they could say, okay, you know what? I may give you bond. I may allow you to go home and then defend your case with an immigration judge.
Thank you, Abogada, for that information. And on the first day that President Biden took office, he issued a 100-day moratorium on deportations. What is expected after this time period ends, and what do undocumented immigrants need to know?
As I've told our community in the past, whether he signed directive for 100, 200, or 300 days, immigration laws continue to be the same. The ICE officer, the CBP officer, has the ability to continue to deport people because they take this information based on case by case. Having said that, what we're going through right now is definitely positive discretion by this administration. It's been positive, meaning that when the ICE officer, when the judge, when the Department of Homeland Security Council is considering a very specific case, instead of having to meet a quota or having to follow the directive by the previous administration that says everyone is game for deportation, zero tolerance, this time around, what they're doing is they're taking a look at the case, they're observing the history of this family and thinking to themselves, okay, these are definitely not priorities. So I wouldn't give so much importance to the 100-day moratorium because immigration laws continue to be the same. To me, what really makes me feel a bit more comfortable now is that when I'm speaking to the family, a family who for the past 4 years we've been fighting the case in court or with ICE, I can now say, look, you haven't committed any crimes. You have much hardship to show for your children. So let's continue to fight the case. And next time we go, we have a different administration. We have more positive discretion on your side. And that's what's going to be helpful to immigration families. Positive discretion that could be on their side now.
Thank you so much, Abogada Latina, for joining us here today. And to just reiterate, positive discretion is the most significant change here that was brought to our attention by Abogada. And we really thank you for all that information.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, Abogada, thank you for being with us.
I wanted to bring you on sooner, but Wadi was like, no, don't invite your mom. You can't invite your mom. So, that's just
it. Was the opposite. It was the opposite.
You can stay up to date with all of the immigration changes by following Abogada Latina Jessica Dominguez's social media platforms and YouTube channel. And we will also keep you up to date with everything going on about immigration on this show and our social media platforms at OTV Show and OTV Show TV.
Hey, I want you to know that your opinion matters. And we want you to join this community of Latinos who are voicing their opinions. You can do this by subscribing to our YouTube channel and signing up for notifications just so you can see our latest content. So you can check out episodes like this and this.